to the debate of the week, ladies and gentlemen. This is about what happened with Alberto El Patron and Paige. From what I understand, they were in Orlando, Florida, and at the Orlando airport, and Alberto was beating up on her. From what I understand, they did call the police in. The police did get him arrested, and now he has charges of possibly assault and battery, or possible charges of abuse or domestic violence. I don't know which one. If it is true, and it probably is, it's just a big freaking shame. From what I can tell, Paige really loves the man. And now it's turned to this. And I can say this as someone who has gone through it himself. And I don't mean abusing my wife when I was married. I mean, I got abused. I know this is hard to believe that a man gets abused. And I'm sure any woman who sees this is going to say, please, you're lying. I'm not lying. If anyone knows me, I'm a very gentle person. I was abused as a child. I was. I was abused by both my mother and my father. I got mental abuse from my father, and I got physical, and unfortunately some other things I don't really want to mention. And I grew up with that. Went to my marriage, and then I had some abuse from my ex-wife. Well, my wife at the time. I used to get beaten by her. I had no inkling in harming her. I couldn't bear to even try to touch her. And she was more than happy to hurt me. And she also was abused as a child herself. So that went along with it. So I understand the point of view of what's it like to be on the flip side, the person who's getting battered a bit. So when it comes to Paige, she's probably still wants to be with the guy. I understand at one point 2 weeks ago, she actually broke off the engagement they were in. So if they did, that means this was done after the engagement between them had been broken up. I don't know. It's possible this happened before or after. I still don't know all the story. But if this is true, that Paige was assaulted and there was domestic violence done to her because of Alberto El Patron, I am very upset about that. I thought she finally found the right person she was going to spend the rest of her life with. And let's be honest here. And I'm going to be honest, brutally honest. Both these people got major problems. Paige has a problem with drinking. We know that Paige has a problem with drinking or some type of drug. We also know Alberto El Patron has a problem with drinking. So both these people got major problems. They do. So coming together was probably the worst mistake they could have done. Now maybe both of them will learn something from this, or maybe they won't. They may just come back together and try again. I don't know. The only thing I do know is we have two choices as fans when it comes to Paige and Alberto El Patron. We can boo Alberto for what he's done to Paige, and that will be on social media and at the Impact tapings. People may actually start booing his ass because of what he did to Paige. Because it's only going to be a matter of time before people find out and they're going to be freaking mad at him, and they'll start doing this during the live or during the live tapings. Or we can understand what happened and wait and see what goes on and give encouragement to Paige, and we tell Alberto, dude, get some freaking help. Admit it that you hurt your woman and you got a problem. That's the other thing we can do. We can tell him, hey, you got a freaking problem. You hurt the woman that loves you. She's got problems too. Both of you get some help and see if you can straighten your lives out or split off. We actually be honest to both of them and tell them either get some help, and if you can get back together, do it, or get some help and just never see each other again. I know that's not probably what people want to hear, but someone like me who grew up in an abusive home and then had an abusive marriage and relationship, I kind of understand the flip side of it. You don't want to lose the person you love, but you don't want to get hurt no more. You don't. For me personally, in the marriage I was in, I don't really say a lot about how things were with my ex-wife. Look, I loved my wife. I would have never divorced her if things had worked. I would probably still be married to her right now, and maybe if I was in the situation I'm in right now and I decided to finally do this, she probably would be in the videos with me if I was still married. Even my son would probably be here, or sons. But I would have stayed with her for the rest of my life happily because I did love her. But because of the abuse, because she didn't want to stay with me, she decided she wanted to leave. I had to divorce her and to try and move on, and believe me, it wasn't easy. So I can understand with Paige, if she still loves him, she doesn't want to move on because she wants to be with him. But let's try to give her some encouragement and be bluntly honest to Alberto. That's what I'm hoping for, that people say, Alberto, on Twitter, dude, you messed up your woman. You got a problem. Get some help. See what can be done for you. And tell your woman, she's got a problem too. Get some help. Because she's got a problem. See if you can straighten yourselves out, and maybe you might be able to straighten it out if you really love each other enough. But this is just my point of view. And I hope you enjoyed this debate of the week. Please give me a comment below. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of flack if anyone hears this and says, dude, you're bullshit. You didn't get abused by your wife. Dude, I did. I did. And I'm hoping since we haven't been together for a long time, I'm really hoping that she's straightened herself out and she's happy in the life she's in. I could say I hate her ass, that she was a bitch, but I'm not going to. Because we both have problems. And sometimes you need to admit that the one you were with had problems and you got problems, and it's important to try and straighten your asses out. Because in the end, the only person that can make you happy is you. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace!